Hello and welcome back to Foot on Film. Please come, sit down, stay a while, take your shoes off. It's not like your neighbors are trying to kill you or anything. So today on Foot on Film we are talking about the Crazies with Timothy Olyphantastic, one of my personal favorite actors. You know, bad guy from Die Hard 4, Hitman from Hitman, other stuff and other stuff. So the basic plot of this film is it is based off of the George Romero movie of the same name. It was like his least known movie that he did after probably, I think, Night of the Living Dead. And no one really paid attention to that movie. No one really was like, oh man, this movie is so great, this movie has zombies. Not zombies. I'm getting that out there up front. They aren't zombies. They're just crazy. Hence the name, The Crazies. The main plot of the story is in this little middle of nowhere town, there's mysterious stuff starts happening and people start acting strange. And then the military shows up. So you know that the military knows what's going on, they just don't want to tell you. So the military is rounding people up, and Timothy Olyphant, his pregnant wife, the deputy, and this girl who is her secretary, the wife's secretary, I believe, works with her at the doctor place where she works. Doctor place, also called a hospital. They're all together, and they are all trying to get out of there without, you know, contracting the government for help, because the government seems to be all cuckoo nuts over the quarantining. They're rounding them up like cattle. So they're trying to get out of there, and then they have to fight the Crazies, and they have to get away from the military. So it's a mind fuck. But that's basically all the story I'm going to tell you. Really, you don't need to know much more than that to know that this movie's going to be pretty damn cool, or at least pretty damn regular. You know, if you've seen any of the other films like that in the genre, you know, which is pretty much all of them. But what I like about this film, what this film does great, is it always. It grips you. It's a very gripping sort of visual story. Like, I'm not saying the story was great. You know, the story could have had a little bit of work, but it's never over talkative. The movie never tries to explain the plot through long-winded people saying long-winded things, and basically they don't exposition the film in any sort of verbal way. It's always through visual storytelling and visual examination of stuff. It's a visual film. So Timothy Olyphantastic and his crew are trying to get out, while also trying not to be killed by the Crazies, and also trying not to become the Crazies. And you can sense the paranoia in this film. That's what this film revolves around. It's just the paranoia that something out there is going to get you. And it has those the jump scares in it, you know, the ones where you walk around the corner, someone jumps out at you, and you're supposed to jump back and do it, and startle, you know. And that never happens to me in movies. It happened to me with the Crazies. I jumped, and then Julia jumped, which was crazy, because she laughed at Hostel, you know, all the crappy storyline in that, which that was a terrible movie, Eli Roth. Come on, you were good in Inglourious Basterds. But yeah, the jump scares, they are actually very well placed. They're never, the reason they're called jump scares is because even though sometimes, but a lot of them you can see coming. The jump scares you can kind of see coming in most films, but in this one, they're so well placed into the story, you honestly don't see them coming. You don't see that this guy's going to be right there around the corner, or when she looks up, he's going to be behind her or whatever. A few of them I did kind of call out that they were going to be there, but for the majority, they took something that was kind of getting diluted in the horror genre, and they freshened it up. They made it fresh and they made it new. So I'm glad of them for that. The sound in the story was great. I loved all the ambient noise going on in this movie. It was just eerie. The complete movie is eerie, from the visual graininess of it to the lack of dialogue. You know, they don't talk a lot. I mean, they do talk. There are some conversations, but they don't talk a lot because they want you to feel this paranoia that they feel. I mean, what are you gonna say if you're being chased by the military and people trying to kill you who've been infected by a disease-ish thing? They're not zombies. I don't know. I really liked this movie. I hope you like it too. And as for a rating, I give it a very, very solid rent. Very solid rent, if not buy. If you like George A. Romero stuff, you won't be let down by this remake. If you watch the original, then you definitely won't be let down by this remake, because no one heard of this movie to begin with. Timothy Olyphantastic was goddamn fantastic. And everyone else did a great job. I loved this movie. I give it my top recommendation. My highest recommendation. Well, second highest. Right over under buy. Go see it in theaters. When it comes out, rent it. And then buy it. So it's actually a buy. Highest recommendation for this movie. It kept me entranced throughout the whole thing, and it's at least worth it for the end credits of the movie. The end credits has my probably favorite song for a horror film that I've heard in years, because it knows what it is. It's a horror film that's not supposed to be taking itself too seriously, but the movie is serious. And they use Mad World in the trailer, which is cool. Your question this week, I feel like a lot of you guys aren't really commenting or watching this one, so maybe you need a point, maybe you need a purpose. Everyone needs a purpose. This week your purpose is, which one of your friends would be the crazy, and how would you handle it? I know which one of my friends would be the crazy, but I'll tell you that next week. And if you have a good enough answer, I'll feature it in the video next week, and go ahead and just drop me a line down here, over there, up there, to the left, to the right, up, down. It's like a roller coaster. I'm just gonna keep doing it. Next week for you guys, I actually not real sure what I'm gonna do yet. I have a lot of movies I could do, and maybe I'll throw the list up for you, but right now I just don't want to go through it. It's long-winded, and I don't have that much time. So next week is pretty much your pick. You tell me what newer style movie you want me to do, or I could just revert and do a classic film that I've been wanting to do for a long time.